Welcome to Panorama Anime. Here's everything you need to know before watching Season 2 of Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is an anime that tells the story of a young Viking warrior named Thorfinn. The story is set in the 11th century AD in Denmark, England, and other parts of Europe, and follows Thorfinn's journey as he navigates the treacherous world of Vikings politics, battles rival clans, and struggles with his own inner demons. Along the way, he learns valuable but brutal life lessons and the true meaning of strength. Thors Snorreson, a former Viking warrior, now leads a peaceful life in Iceland with his family. His son, Thorfinn, dreams of adventure in a paradise called Vinland. When Thors takes in a slave and refuses to return him to his brutal master, the slave dies, sparking a conflict. In 1002 AD, during the war between England and Denmark, a band of Jomsvikings led by Floki visits Thors' village to enlist his help in their war. Thorfinn and the young men in the village are eager to go to war, but Floki plans to slaughter Thors and his crew as punishment for deserting years earlier. Askeladd, leader of 100 Vikings, demands double the price from Floki to kill Thors. In the village, young men prepare for battle, but Leif Erikson tells the young woman that Thors won't take them. When they set sail, Thors discovers that Thorfinn is stowed away. Stopping for supplies, they are trapped in the Faroe Islands by Floki. Thors fights his way through Askeladd's men until he faces Bjorn in a berserker rage. Thors defeats him and challenges Askeladd to a duel. After a fierce battle, Thor surrenders to save Thorfinn and his villagers and is killed by arrows. Thorfinn stows away on the captured ship and swears revenge against Askeladd. Askeladd and his men pillage a village in England after landing near the Humber River. Thorfinn tries to kill Askeladd in his sleep but fails, and later challenges him to a duel. Askeladd promises to fight him again if he proves himself in battle. Askeladd strikes a deal with Danish forces to conquer England. The English attack their camp, and Thorfinn kills his first man. He joins Askeladd's band, becoming a ruthless fighter and eager for a rematch. He is wounded and rescued by an English girl, but later signals Askeladd to raid her village. Brutal. Askeladd's band sets sail to France and offers their services to the Normans. Thorfinn negotiates a deal, and they loot the fort's treasury, with Askeladd finally agreeing to duel Thorfinn. Askeladd and his men return to Gorm's village with their spoils. Thorfinn has a rematch with Askeladd, but he is defeated. The Danish king Svein leads an invasion of northern England in 1013, but they fail to conquer the heavily defended merchant city of London. The Danish forces are unable to conquer London Bridge, guarded by Thorkill the Tall, who supports the English. Askeladd promises Thorfinn another duel if he can deliver Thorkill's head, but Thorfinn fails and retreats with injuries. King Svein leaves his son Canute and Ragnar to maintain the siege, while the rest of the army goes to Wessex. Ragnar's men become impatient during the siege due to Thorkill's taunts, but he manages to control them. Askeladd's men also become bored from inactivity, but upon learning that Thorkill is in pursuit of Swein's army, Askeladd renews the attack on London. Thorkill sets out to pursue Swein's army with Ragnar and Prince Canute as hostages, but they are intercepted by a group of Danish soldiers. Thorkill releases the hostages, then provokes the Danes into attacking in close quarters. Askeladd starts a forest fire, sending in Thorfinn to capture the prince while Thorkill watches. Thorfinn succeeds and escapes while Thorkill decides not to fight him and save his own men. Askeladd and his men, with Prince Canute in tow, are pursued by Thorkill and his army. They reach the Bristol Channel and are met by Welsh reinforcements, but as they approach Behenjog, they are surrounded by archers on the hilltops. Askeladd sends for more reinforcements and the situation remains tense as they wait for their arrival. In November of 1013 AD, Floki informs the King of Denmark that the Danish forces have won the battle in Wessex, but also reports that Thorkill may have taken Canute. Meanwhile, in Wales, Askeladd claims to have Welsh ancestry and promises to protect Wales after England is defeated. Askeladd and his men surrender their weapons to pass through Behenjog, appearing as if they are prisoners, and join the main Danish army in Gainsborough. Askeladd and his men face a harsh winter weather while crossing northern Mercia. In search of food, they pillage a Christian village and kill all the villagers except for a young woman who was seeking penitence for stealing a cheap ring. Thorkill reaches Gloucester and discovers that English nobles are willing to accept Danish rule. Askeladd's group is found by English troops, and his men start to doubt his luck. Askeladd orders Bjorn to kill Ragnar, Prince Canute's guardian, blaming it on the English, in hopes that Canute will become a leader he can follow. Askeladd tortures a captured English captain for information while Thorfinn guards Prince Canute. Some of Askeladd's men desert and join Thorkill, who then kills them. Well, that's what you get. Askeladd reaches the upper Severn River, cuts down the bridge, and faces Thorkill. His men doubt his leadership and a mutiny occurs. Askeladd faces a mutiny and reveals his secret hatred for the Danes, killing 2 of his men in the process. Bjorn takes Thorfinn, Canute, and the priest in a sled, with 10 men in pursuit. Askeladd is left to face his former loyal followers, killing many of them. However, he is eventually incapacitated by a volley of arrows. Thorfinn duels with Thorkill to decide the fate of Askeladd. Canute has an epiphany while talking to the priest and decides to confront the current situation himself, calming down the berserker Bjorn. Canute orders the priest to heal Bjorn while he accepts the challenge of being king. Thorkill kicks Thorfinn, sending him crashing into nearby trees. Thorkell reveals that he is Thorfinn's great uncle and explains how Thor survived the epic sea battle of a word that I cannot pronounce, but the duel between Thorfinn and Thorkell resumes, and Thorfinn blinds Thorkell for a moment and knocks him down, gouging out his eye. Canute arrives and convinces Thorkell to join him in his mission to confront King Swine. Canute confronts King Swine and is almost killed, but Askeladd intercedes and convinces the king to spare Canute's life. Canute decides to join forces with the king for the present, and Gunnar swears to serve him. Askeladd orders Alti and his brother to return home and never raise a sword again. Canute takes his followers to York, a Danish-occupied town in the Northumbria region, but is shot in the chest by an assassin. However, it is later revealed that the person shot was a woman slave dressed as his double. Aha! Askeladd hired the assassin to promote rumors that the king wants Canute dead, and also feeds information to Gunnar, who is spying for the king. Meanwhile, Thorfinn calls Askeladd out to a duel to settle his debt. Thorfinn and Askeladd prepare to duel, and Askeladd throws away his sword. Askeladd beats Thorfinn into unconsciousness, and Canute stops the fight. Askeladd recounts his upbringing as the son of a slave woman, his revenge on his Viking father Olaf, and his contempt for the Vikings who live only for battle, conquest, and revenge. Canute asks Askeladd why he supports him, and Askeladd simply replies that Canute is one of the most fit to be the king of the Vikings. In York, King Swine announces the successful Viking conquest of England and gives control of Mercia to Canute. He also announces his plan to attack Ireland and Wales, which horrifies Askeladd, who believed his strategy for Canute's rise to power had worked. Thorfinn is jailed after creating a disturbance, and Leif Erikson promises to take him to Vinland. Askeladd questions Swine's orders to subjugate his homeland of Wales and offers to broker a peace instead. Swine forces Askeladd to choose between Wales or Canute, and Askeladd chooses to denounce the king and reveal himself as the legitimate heir to rule Britannia. Askeladd beheads Swine and fights alone against the Danish soldiers, but Canute realizes that Askeladd is acting to protect him. Canute kills Askeladd with a stab in the heart, and Thorfinn attacks Canute in despair, but is dragged away. The episode ends with shots of several previously unseen characters in various locations. And that's all for Season 1 of Vinland Saga. We hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and here's some other videos you might like. Till next time.